Hey there, welcome to kneppyinvests. The other day I did a video on a Zip technical update and my trading plan around Zip, and I thought today would be a good day to do an update on that trading plan because I did make two purchases to Zip today on March the 16th. So I'll talk about why I made those purchases. And I'll also talk very briefly about Bollinger Bands. This is something I've been reading about lately, and even though I don't use Bollinger Bands, and it's more than likely I won't use it in the future, it does incorporate a concept that I regularly use in my own trading. So I'll talk about how that's very similar to what I look for. So the first chart I just want to show you here is the 15-minute chart to the end of closing on the 15th of March. And a couple of very important things I just want to show you here. And something I always look for is converging moving averages coming together, like you see on the 12th and 15th here with Zip. Now, when you do see moving averages converge together, that is telling you and me that the stock is becoming less volatile. And you can see how or why the stock is becoming less volatile with the decreasing volume. So those day and short-term traders are becoming less interested in Zip. And those day traders and short-term traders are the ones who take advantage of the volatility in a stock. Now, when I see moving averages converge together, that's telling me not only is the stock becoming less volatile, that sometime in the future, there is going to be a breakout and the stock will become more volatile. And when it breaks up to the upside, that's when you want to jump in. Now, in this slide, what I've done is I've just taken away all the moving average lines and instead put in a Bollinger Band. So this is something, a trading technique I've been reading about lately. And a Bollinger Band is simply three lines. The middle line is the simple moving averages, and the top line and the bottom line is two standard deviations away from the simple moving average. And I've got there the Bollinger Band squeeze. So the further away those two outward lines of the Bollinger Band is, the more volatile the stock is. When they come together in a Bollinger Band squeeze, that's exactly the same as when the moving averages are converging together. So I'm still learning about this. I do believe traders use this to figure out if a company or stock is overbought or oversold. At this point in time, I'm not going to be using it because it's a very similar sort of concept to my moving averages converging. And since I'm used to that, I don't really need to use a Bollinger Band at this point in my life. So this was my trading plan in regards to Zip when we came to the close of trading on the 12th of March. And I was using the higher high, higher low sort of setup. We already had the higher low, and the previous high was $8.80, and the share price got above $8.80. That would be confirmation we're in the higher high, higher low setup. So that was my trading plan. And how did that go on the 15th and 16th of March? Well, in the next slide, I'll show you that I slightly adjusted that trading plan. So my trading plans around Zip slightly changed when we opened the markets on the 15th of March because a lot of selling came into Zip right on the open and the share price went down to $8.40. Now, $8.40 was a very important level for Zip because that was the previous low on the 12th of March. And if the share price could remain above $8.40, that would be quite powerful. And that $8.40 would become a good support level. So I decided to put in a low risk buy at $8.40. And the reason why it was a low risk buy is because if the share price went below that and sustained below that for a while, that would be an obvious sell. But lo and behold, the share price rallied quite quickly over the next hour and it went all the way up to $8.70 and then it fell away again. Now, I changed the top of the resistance from $8.80, which was the previous high on the 12th of March, and put it down to $8.70 because I think that was a more powerful and a stronger resistance level. And then we saw at start of trading on the 16th of March, the Zip share price got to $8.70 again and then fell away, sort of confirming that resistance level at $8.70. So what I was looking for here was the share price moving through $8.70 on good volume, and we had that at around midday or so. The share price went through $8.70 on good volume, and that was the breakout buy. So that was my second buy in Zip at about $8.74. Share price then hovered around $8.80 for the rest of the day until we got to the last 30 minutes of trading. There was a bit of selling came into the market, not a lot, but it did drive the share price down to around $8.75. Now, during the closing auction, which is the last 10 minutes of trading, which there's no trading during the last 10 minutes, you just put in bids, sell bids and buy bids, and then after 10 minutes, the market just sort of equalizes all those buys and sells and to get up-end price for the day. Now, a lot of selling came into Zip in the opening few minutes, and the indicative price was around $8.65, which I thought was a bit low. But then a lot of buy bids came in late during the closing auction, and it forced the indicative price all the way up to its closing price of $8.75. So a good close to the day. $8.75. We saw that share price hovering around $8.80, which was really powerful too. So I think I'm fairly bullish about trading on Wednesday, the 17th and 18th of March. But again, our markets and Zip's share price action will be highly dependent on what happens on the overnight markets overseas. If we see bond yields go through the roof, we might see Zip share price under a bit of pressure. But again, you have no control over that sort of thing. The only control you do have is over your own trading strategies. So that's all I've got on this technical update and a slight change to my trading strategy around Zip. I'm very excited to see how this plays out over the next few trading days, and I'll be even more excited if the Zip share price goes through the roof during that time period. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you do have any questions, leave it in the comments section. Otherwise, I'm not a financial advisor, so if you do need any advice about your own circumstances, make sure you seek out someone who is qualified and can speak to your own financial needs. That's all for this video. Have a good day. Bye.